Today on Make Shape Create, we're rebuilding our workbench with some fancy surprises. Hey guys, I'm Corey, this is Make Shape Create, and today we're going to rebuild our workbench. Now, we built this a little over a year ago, and it served us great. One of the biggest problems is I added those shelves as an afterthought, and they've become a place to clutter stuff and add, just kind of throw stuff when needed and blah, blah, blah. So I think we need to rethink that a little bit. I also want to make it a little bit shorter. I kind of mismeasured when I made it originally, and I feel like it just needs to be maybe 4 inches shorter. So we're gonna go ahead and do that while we got it. We're also going to incorporate our new table saw in there. We just gotta do our best to make sure this is level with the top. First thing we need to do, we need to break this one down because we're gonna try to use as much of it as possible in the new one. So one of the things we want to do with this new workbench is we want to have the bandsaw mounted on top and flip down on this side. Height's not a problem. Problem is width. In its current width, I don't think it'll fit through. We need literally the width of one of these 2x4s. So I'm going to take off this leg. I'm going to replace the bottom of it with this scrap piece of wood. Screw this back to the outside of this and go from there. That should give us enough strength and stuff like that, I believe. So we're gonna go from there. Okay, so this is kind of where we're at. This thing's in. It's working pretty good, but I just need to do some trimming and stuff like that to get it to fit a little better, because when it gets about here, it starts sticking. I'm going to try sanding this side, these sides, apply some paste wax. Hopefully that'll work. And once we do that, we get the bandsaw mounted to this and on to the next thing. Okay, so we got this thing spinning. Now we need to work on figuring out how to get the bandsaw connected to this. Got an idea, getting ready to try it out. So I had a little bit of a hiccup when I drilled the holes initially. I didn't think about where it needed to be to flip. So because of that, I had to alter the plan a little bit. So let's test it out. I got to screw hold it right now, but it'll work. That's awesome. And now I just need to figure out something to do with the cord. This part's done. Just gotta cut out the hardboard for it, which we will do once we finish everything else. Next, I think we're gonna work on mounting this table saw in the middle of this bench. This is about here is where we're gonna mount the table saw. I'm still not 100% sure the best way to do this. I think I'm gonna need to add supports in. I've already measured it. It needs to be 14 inches apart, and that way I can place it in, screw it to, I'm assuming 2x4s will work, should. if I have them mounted to this good enough. And then, yeah, that's the plan. I have all the pieces cut out to attach the table saw to these pieces we made. I've also cut down some of the old hardboard to act as a spacer. I just need to make sure that I ain't got anything in underneath of it, so that when I cut out the final one, it's the right depth. All right, so time to start cutting into the bench again. We already cut these supports. They're going to go on the inside here and help brace the top up. Okay, this is finally in. This has been kicking my ass all day. Finally it's in. Move on to the next thing. Figuring out how to do this motor. Okay, so one thing we need to figure out now is how to mount this to the new table. They had this really big, bulky setup before, so the motor can move up and down as you adjust the blade. We have a solution for that. Reposition this on one of our new legs and see if we can't make this move a little easier. Okay, so for whatever reason, I made this way too complicated and this doesn't work. So, we need to simplify it. And in thinking about it, they already make these things called extension cords. So, I'm going to wire this back to a plug, get rid of all this stuff, mount the 6-plug thing on the outside of this, and plug both things in, have something to plug other tools into. This should work just fine. So, quick tip real quick. With a power strip like this, where you have the places you put screws in the back, you take a piece of paper, lay it over top, and just take a regular pencil and just kind of get etching or whatever you want to call it, rubbing of the back. You can see that there's one of your holes right there. Got another one right around here somewhere, right there. Got that one. So this one should be right around here. There we go. And so now that we have that, we can put this aside. Grab our piece of wood that we're going to put it to. Lay this right over top and screw right through this. And then we know our screws are in the right spot. Alright, power's done for the most part. Now we need to take, this is the other half of the original cardboard we had. Luckily it's still the same size. We just need to cut this down to size, cut the 2 parts we need to cut out, tax this down. Okay, so the last thing we got to do is I want to mount this paper on the opposite side of the workbench. That way we can put paper over the top of the bench, hopefully to keep it less sturdy and to protect like the table saw and stuff like that while we're not using that in the bandsaw. So we're going to make a mount for it. I've already pre-drilled a couple holes. I'm going to make this aluminum for the inside, cut it down to size, put it in the middle of this, mount it to the other side, and we're done, guys. So I'm using aluminum to do this because you can use wood cutting tools to cut it. I have a railer rod and then a tube that are, you know, fit inside of each other. And so I'm going to use this as like the axle that the paper will spin on once the ends are captured inside this. And it's finally all done, guys. Super happy with this. I keep saying this every week, but this thing kicked my ass. And it did. But it's had better height. I got two tools in here that didn't have a place for before. It's gonna be good. I know I still have a couple things to do. I have to continue these tracks for the miter gauge and all that throughout the table. I'll do that at some point. Not worried about it today. But yeah, all in all, super happy with this. Hopefully this gave you guys something, you know, an idea for something you want to do. Maybe, you know, to improve your workbench or work area in general. If it did, let us know down in the comments. You can check out another project up here that Google thinks you like. There'll be a shop infrastructure playlist down here. You can subscribe around here somewhere. And we'll see you in the next one. See you.